Hey guys, welcome back to another class preview. Today we're going to be going over the Mistweaver Monk in the Legion Alpha and kind of seeing all the changes that have happened for this spec and seeing if it's going to be a actual viable healing spec. Kind of going over some of the spellbook, um, some of the talents, and also over our artifact weapon. But um, let's kind of get into this and kind of see the overall feel. First of all, heading over the spellbook, we have Blackout Kick. Um, Instant cast with a 2.7 second cooldown. Kick with a blast of chi energy, dealing 113,000 physical damage. Now, uh, now this is just one of our basic abilities. Now the fact that we no longer have fist weaving, we do not heal off of these abilities. This just mostly allows us to do some damage and kind of get some actually questing capabilities. And next is Chi Burst, which is a talent we'll go over later. We have Crackling Jade Lightning. It's a channeled spell. Channels Jade Lightning, causing 245,000 nature damage over 3.6 seconds to the target, and sometimes knocking back melee attackers. Now, if we're just kind of doing whatever, we don't need to be healing right now. This could be very good, especially at staying at ranged. Gives you some nice damage and kind of helping out the DPS to maybe not hit that berserk timer. Next, we do have Detox, our basic dispel with a 28,000 mana cost with an 8-second cooldown. Removes all magic, poison, and disease effects from the target. We do have Infuse, which is kind of new. Does cost 20,000 mana with a 1.3 second cast. A fast but efficient heal, healing the target for 48,000 health. Nothing really interesting about this. It is going to work off of our Soothing Mist, which is kind of our passive. We'll go over that later. Works quite well with our mastery as well. But next we do have Enveloping Mist. Now this has kind of been revamped a little bit. It does have a high mana cost. So now most healers have a low efficiency something that costs low mana, which is a fuse, and they also have a high mana cost spell as well, which is definitely our Enveloping Mist. It does cost 66,000 mana with a 1.8 second cast. Wraps the target in Healing Mist, healing for 350,000 health over 7 seconds, and also increasing healing received from your other spells by 50%. Now this is a very good tank healing spell, or someone that's even low life. Like, this is a nice kind of revamp and does give you quite a bit of healing, just because it duplicates other healing spells by 50%. We do have Essence Font. Now this does cost 88,000 mana, pretty high mana cost, but is a channeled ability. Unleash a rapid whirl of healing bolts at up to 6 allies within 25 yards every 1 second for 2.7 seconds. Each bolt heals the target for 26,000 plus additional 8,000 over 6 seconds. This is mostly more of our AoE healing. Just kind of heals people around you with no cooldown, so it obviously can be spammed if we need some raid heals and don't want to pop revival. Like Sleep is a talent we'll go over later. We still do have Life Cocoon. It does cost 26,000 mana with a 3-minute cooldown, Encases the target in a cocoon of chi energy for 12 seconds, absorbing 683,000 damage and increasing all healing over time received by 50%. Now if we pop this and also enveloping mist, all of our healing over time abilities would be increased by 100%. This does stack and kind of makes this quite a bit powerful. So popping that on him, make sure he does not die at all. It is a longer cooldown than what it used to be, making this amazing for tanks in kind of situational if they're going to be taking a bunch of damage or if they're close to dying. Popping this on them will help them get back to up to full health, and also preventing them from dying. But it does kind of absorb a lot of life. We still do have paralysis. Basically our CC with a 15-second cooldown incapacitates the target for 1 minute with a limit of 1. Damage will cancel this effect. Nothing new. Provoke a taunt, even though we're a healer. We don't need that. We have Reawaken. This is our mass res. Returns all dead party members back to life with 35% health and mana. Cannot be used in combat. Now onto Renewing Mist. This does cost 27,000 mana with an 8-second cooldown. Surrounds the target with Healing Mist, restoring 184,000 health over 26 seconds. Now, it's not that much over that long of time, but there are a few factors that play in. Like if Renewing Mist heals a target past maximum health, it will travel it to another injured ally within 20 yards. So it does work off of our smart healing and kind of limits our overhealing done. So if there is a more damaged ally, I'll hop to them as long as they're relatively close. Now each time Renewing Mist heals, it has a 4% chance to increase the healing of your Vivify by 50%. We'll go over Vivify a little bit later. We do have our basic res, and that reses a single person. Now we do have Revival as well. This does cost 48,000 mana with a 3-minute cooldown. Heals all party and raid members within 40 yards for 131,000 health and clears them for all magical, poison, and disease effects. Now this isn't as much as it used to be, but it is a still very powerful healing cooldown since it heals everyone. And this is still very nice, even though I do have, it is about 1/15 of my health. Does do a very nice job at topping, or at least getting everyone back to a nice healing position where you don't have to worry about everyone dying. We have Rising Sun Kick. Does cost 22,000 mana with a 10-second cooldown. Kicks upward, dealing 157,000 damage. Actually, quite a bit of damage, but this is mostly just for our damage capabilities. It still does not heal. We have Roll. Nothing really new with that. Just roll a short distance. We have Spinning Crane Kick. This does cost 11,000 mana, and it is a channeled ability. Spin while kicking in the air, dealing 84,000 damage over 1.4 seconds to enemies within 8 yards. Now this does not heal anymore as well, so do not expect it to. It was very nice for, used to be very nice for raid healing, but which is no longer the case. Jade Serpent Statue is a talent now. We'll go over that later. Now, Thundering Focus Tea. Now, a lot of our spec is going to work off of this. Does have a 30-second cooldown. Receives a jolt of energy, empowering your next spell cast. The fact that I have a talent does make it 2. But it does empower the next spell. It does empower Renewing Mist. It does not trigger a cooldown. So if I pop this, I can pop it on him, then pop this on me, giving us a lot more raid capability of healing. Plus it lasts for a long time, so giving you quite a bit more raid healing. Now for our basic spell, it does increase and fuse by 150%, making this a very powerful heal. Does make the Enveloping Mist an instant cast. Now it does make our Essence Font being able to be cast while moved. So just in case we had to run away, could use that as well. And for our Vivify, it does make it no mana cost. Tiger's Bomb, just basically strike for 36,000 damage. Nothing really healing wise you know about that. We still do have Transcendence. Instant cast with a 10-second cooldown. Split your body and spirit, leaving your spirit behind for 15 minutes, allowing you to use your transfer to be able to swap to the location. Basically just swaps your body and spirit locations, giving you a nice teleport. Now it's over there. Vivify. Now this does cost 50,000 mana with a 1.3 second cast, causing a surge of invigorating mist around your target, healing them and their new 2 nearest injured allies for 54,000 health. Now this is going to play into our Renewing Mist, since it does have a 4% chance to trigger Vivify to have a 50% more healing. Kind of giving you some nice synergy, but Vivify and also our Essence Font are our AoE heals. So kind of changing it up, but in a good way, in my opinion. Zen Pilgrimage basically goes you back to your class hall. Nothing new. Now our Mastery, which is Gust of Mist. A Fuse, Renewing Mist, Enveloping Mist, and Vivify also cause Gusts of Mist, instantly healing the primary target for 39,000 health. Now, this may not seem that powerful, but this does make switching to targets amazing, especially once you hear Soothing Mist. This does kind of have a nice burst healing to it, especially if you're just spamming a fuse just to get more mana efficiency. It does give you quite a bit more healing for doing practically nothing. Now Soothing Mist, we still have this in the game, but it is now a passive. A Fuse, Enveloping Mist, Vivify, and Life Cocoon also trigger Soothing Mist. After casting these spells, you continue to channel Healing Mist to the target, healing them for 9,000 every half a second until you start another action. Now I do have a talent enabling me to move while this is happening, but it also lasts quite a long time. Now we do have Teachings of the Monastery, passive, basically increasing our damage output, enabling us to quest. But Tiger Palm also increases the damage of your next blackout or rising sun kick by 30%. Blackout kick has a 30% chance to reset the remaining cooldown of rising sun kick. So they kind of work in a progressive system. Obviously you want to do Tiger's Palm first, then Blackout kick or Tiger's Palm, Rising Sun kick, just because it does more damage. But having the fact that Blackout kick can reset the cooldown of Rising Sun makes this a little bit more powerful. Anyways, moving on to the talents. Starting off, we do have Chi Burst. Hurls a torrent of Chi energy up to 40 yards forward, dealing 60,000 nature damage to all enemies, and 60,000 healing to the monk and all of allies in its path. Now this still does heal yourself, but it does have no mana cost. So this could be very good for raid healing, just to get that extra little bit without costing anything. But next we do have Zen Pulse. It is an instant cast with a 15-second cooldown. Trigger a Zen Pulse around an ally, dealing 70,000 damage to all enemies within 8 yards of them. The allies is healed for the amount done. So this could be very good used on a tank if they have a bunch of adds on them. But it kind of depends on if there's a bunch of adds and whatnot. We do have Mistwalk. This does replace Transcendence. You basically dash to an ally and heal them for 76,000. So let's put this on our bar. It does have 2 charges, but it kind of gets close to an ally. Not overall seeing the main use of this, but I think both Chi Burst and Zen Pulse would be a lot better. But I guess if we do need a fast heal or need to get away from something, this could be useful. Next we do have Chi Torpedo. It does replace our roll. Torpedoes in front of you for a long distance and increases movement speed by 30% for 10 seconds, stacking up to two times. Now we do have a much longer distance, plus we can keep it stacked and have a huge speed increase. Next is Tiger's Lust. 30-second cooldown, increases a friendly target's movement speed by 70% for 6 seconds, and removes all roots and snares. Very nice, especially for PvP, getting out of all the roots and snares. But next we do have Celerity. Passive does reduce the cooldown of roll by 5 seconds and increase the maximum number of charges, allowing you to have 3 rolls. So giving you quite a bit of mobility, but kind of depends on what you prefer and what may be good in that particular fight. Next we do have Life Cycles. So passive, Enveloping Mist, reduce the mana cost of your next Vivify by 15%, and Vivify reduces the mana cost of your Enveloping Mist. So this kind of works back and forth. Say if I had this, hey, I can cast Vivify for reduced, and then I can cast Enveloping Mist for reduced. Obviously you'd want to be switching back and forth between these, kind of almost having a rotation, but since I like to be able to use my abilities when I need them, I don't want to have to cast Vivify when I need more single target healing. and I don't want to have to cast Enveloping Mist when I need more raid healing. Next we do have Spirit of the Crane. Tiger's Palm causes your next Blackout Kick or Sunrising Kick to restore 0.75% of mana. This does kind of allow you to be more fist weaving, but the fact that Sunrising Kick costs more mana than it gains back kind of makes this a little iffy. Moving on to Mist Wrap. Now this is my favorite out of this row. It is a passive, increasing our enveloping mist duration by 1 second, increases the healing bonus by 20. So normally this would just increase healing received by other spells by 30%, but if we have this on, it does jump up to 50 and gives you more duration of that as well. Also added bonus, you can now channel Soothing Mist while moving. So if we did not have this and cast this, once I start moving, it stops. But when I have this, I can keep moving, healing that single target. Very nice in high mobility fights. Next on, we do have Ring of Peace. This is an instant cast with a 45-second cooldown. Forms a ring of peace around the friendly target for 8 seconds. Enemies in the ring that use harmful spells or abilities will be knocked out of the ring. This used to silence or kind of disarm. Now this just kind of knocks them out. Could be useful, somewhat like a Typhoon, but I would see this more in PvP than anything else. Song of Chijai, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, with a 1.6 second cast, 30 second cooldown, conjures a cloud of hypnotic mist that slowly travels towards the target. Enemies touched by this mist fall asleep, disoriented for 20 seconds, giving you some nice CC for some mobs, especially if a bunch of ads just suddenly come out and you're closer to them than the tank is. You'd probably be targeted first. Using this could give you some time so you don't automatically get one shot. We also do have Leg Sweep, 45-second cooldown, knocks all enemies within 5 yards, stunning them for 5 seconds. Excellent stun. Next we do have Healing Elixirs. That's a passive, heals you for 15% of your max health when a damaging attack brings you below 35% health, or when you drink tea while injured. This effect can only happen once every 30 seconds. Now this does work with our Thunder Focus Tea. Since it has a 30-second cooldown, it's just basically a free 15% health heal. Next we do have Diffuse Magic. It's an instant cast with a 2-minute cooldown. Reduces the magic damage you take by 60% for 6 seconds, transferring all current active harmful magic effects on you back to the original caster if possible. So kind of gives you a spell reflect with a major magic redemption damage reduction. Next we do have Dampen Harm, 2-minute cooldown as well. Reduces all damage you take by 30% from the next 3 attacks that damage you for 15% or more of your maximum health. This is castable while stunned, so if you're getting trained hard in PvP, this could be a very useful talent to choose. But I don't see the main use of this in raiding, since you most likely won't be taking damage from attacks itself. It'll just be ray damage. We do have Refreshing Jade Wind. It does cost 55,000 mana with a 5.4 second cooldown. This does summon a whirling tornado around you, causing 49,000 healing over 5.4 seconds, up to 6 allies within 8 yards, and increases the healing of Essence of Font by 20% while active. This is a awesome spell. Especially synergizes with a bunch of raid healing. Say, if we did this, this, then this, you can cast this while moving, doing a lot of raid healing and putting out some nice healing. But I do find this very situational, and does kind of focus on our raid healing, where some of these others do kind of have a different effect, more focused towards tank healing, such as Invoke Chijai, the Red Crane, summons an effigy of Chijai, the Red Crane, for 45 seconds. Chijai, I really hope I'm pronouncing that right, heals nearby allies with Crane Heal for 32,000. Nice healing cooldown. This can be either raid heals or single target heals if our tank is taking a bunch of damage. This is a nice little passive, since we still do have a Enveloping Mist. It does increase the damage or the healing that that target receives. This does work off of that, so increasing the more healing output that this can do. Then we also do have Summon Jade Serpent Statue. Now this just used to be in our spellbook. Now it is a talent. Summons a Jade Serpent Statue at the target location. When you channel Soothing Mist, the statue will also channel Soothing Mist on your target, healing for 50% as much. So this makes you more effective single target healing. Say if someone drops low, this could be very useful. But even overall, makes this you a better healer, since you're going to be channeling Soothing Mist anyways, just because almost every single spell makes you start channeling that. But this is the one I like to use. Same effect. We do have a level 100 talents. We do have Manatee with a 1.5 minute cooldown. Reduce the mana cost of your spells by 50% for 10 seconds. Now if you need to pump out a bunch of raid healing with Vivify and also Essence Font, using this during that time could be very useful, not making sure that you go through all your mana. Next we have Focused Thunder. As a passive, your Thundering Focus Tea now empowers your next 2 spells instead of just 1. So I can pop this, give 1 heal on Soothing Mist on me, 1 heal on him, and 1 heal on him, allowing more raid heals, more single target heals. Basically the choice is up to me on how I want to use these. Plus it gives you more chances to proc extra healing from Vivify, which is awesome. Next we do have Rising Thunder. Rising Sun Kick resets the remaining cooldown of Thunder Focus Tea. Now this is a pretty good synergy with some other stuff, like, where is it? Basically you would want to be in melee if you're ever going to use this, since this does have a 10-second cooldown as well. It would make your Thunder Focus Tea at least 10 seconds. But the fact that, there we go, Blackout Kick has a 30% reset the remaining cooldown of Rising Sun Kick. Then, if you cast Rising Sun Kick, it would set the remaining cooldown of Thunder Focus Tea. So, therefore, kind of making a nice synergy into almost fist weaving, but that's it for the talents. I do like the talents. They kind of give you option to play, but some are a little bit better than others, in my opinion. I do see that kind of changing a little bit, but I do like the introduction of Thunder Focus Tea, allowing you to change what you want to kind of focus on, whether you want to focus on more raid heals or more single target heals, or even mobility heals as well. So I do like that kind of complement to being able to heal how you want. Now moving on to our artifact weapon, we have Shadowloon, the Staff of the Mist. Now starting with our main spell that we do, we have Shadowloon's Gift. It is a 1.8 second cooldown. It does have no cooldown. It does have a 1.8 second cast, not cooldown, but draws in nearby clouds of mist generated by Shadowloon, healing the target for 32,000 and increasing 26,000 per cloud absorbed up to a maximum of 133,000. So basically, passive, you're going to be getting these clouds that spawn around. They do have a low chance of spawning right now, but let's see if I can get one. There we go. We have one right there, as we can see. I can pull this in to myself, kind of evaporating that, and also kind of healing me if we do have a bunch of these mists around. This could be very good at tank healing, or someone who received a bunch of damage. So I have one out right now, or two out now, and I can target this guy and heal him for quite a bit. Since this has no cooldown, making this an awesome tank heal or single target heal with no mana cost. I really like this spell. I do find it a little overpowered as is, as long as you get the right procs. But it's relatively easy to get those clouds if you're raid healing. But we also do have some nice passives that do kind of affect your playstyle quite a bit, such as Celestial Breath. When you activate Thunder Focus Tea, causes you to exhale and breathe. Exhale the breath of Yulon, healing all allies within 12 yards for 59,000 over 3 seconds. Looking like this, giving a nice cool effect, even more healing. Honestly, this healing spec is amazing. We also do have the Mist of Shadowloon. It's a passive. Your healing spell have a chance to awaken Shadowloon. Increases your healing over time. Spells by 20% for 10 seconds. When this effect ends, Shadowloon releases a wave of mist that heal all allies within 15 yards for 43,000. Now this one I don't see proc that often, but when it does give you a nice bonus to healing. Let's see if I can proc this. No. It's kind of a... There it is. The Mist of Shadowloon. Healing over time spells are increased by 20% more. Now when this ends, it does a kind of an explosion of healing, giving you even more raid heals. I mean, this is going to be the awesome new Mac Daddy of raid heals. Mistweaving monks are going to be amazing if they stay like this. Well, last but not least, we do have Blessings of Yulon. Passive, activating revival summons the Spirit of Yulon, healing all revival targets for additional 30% of revivals heal over 6 seconds, making revival healing even more. Now, I'm not sure if they added the effect into this, but there it is. You get Yulon and get even more healing out of your revival, making this even powerful cooldown than it was before. So overall, the best healing spec I've played, even more than Holy Pally. Holy Paladin was a lot of fun, but I do think Mistweavers have it all. They are going to be amazing single target healers with Enveloping Mist. They're going to be awesome raid healers with Vivify and Essence Font. But it's going to be... Their mana cost seems pretty low too. As long as you're not spamming the wrong spells, you should be fine. Especially having Shalung's gift not requiring any mana, giving you just even more single target healing, and just kind of burst healing. So, like if I had a bunch of the clouds up, someone drops low, just cast this, immediately heals them after 1.8 seconds, and kind of you get some amazing raid heals and amazing single target heals with this spec. I'm super impressed. I do love the rework. This is definitely going to be my new healing spec, even though I'm not a huge fan of monks as is in warlords, but I do like how they reworked this. Anyways, thanks once again for watching. If we did like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out more than you think. If we do have any questions about this spec, or even what you want me to, what spec you want me to do next, please just leave them in the comment box below. And thanks very much once again for watching, and I will see you guys next time.